So hello everybody, welcome back. I hope that you like this video and that you find it helpful somehow. So anyway, sorry I'm late for this week's top 10 advice. And I wrote it down and I did have other videos, but I did not upload them, and instead I decided to start anew because I have been going through a lot. And quite frankly, I thought that this one was going to be better for everyone. And so you might want to take notes. And this is from experience from other people, myself, reading, and other aspects. So it's going to be general, and you will need to have these into consideration. So, having said that, then grab your coffee, your notebook, and anything that you can think you will need. And if you wanted to share a coffee with me while you're at it, links for that down below. And if you wanted to take a look at any of my books, links for that down below. And so today we are going to be talking about 10 C's for trading. And so the first one is going to be for the code, as in secret code and passwords and stuff like this. Now, this is a whole video. That's why I had to redo this thing. You can watch a lot of this topic about secret passwords for talking and others, mostly from Mexican origins. The reason being is that where people started doing this thing, it was in Mexico, or at least when it went viral, it can be traced to Mexico. So the secret code means somebody calls you on WhatsApp or whatever, even in social media, especially in when you're in Korea and others, and you can see their faces. But in reality, they are not the person that you're talking to. So it can be an AI generated thing, and it can be anyone. They are telling you to come to a place, blah blah, blah, and then it turns out that you fall into a trap, especially with teens. So there are several videos in which Mexicans, like I said, Mexicans rule this topic, not Venezuelans, but Mexicans. Mexicans rule this topic because they will tell you when to use them, what to use, what not to use, in all kinds of things. But basically, it's kind of like this: you have a password for your email, you have a password for basically everything, and then you don't have a password for your kids so that they can know it's you when you're calling, or vice versa. And you don't have a password to know when something goes wrong. In fact, in here, there was a video that I made in which I told you that one guy was kidnapped here in my community. And the reason why he was able to get away from the kidnappers and all kinds of things is because his wife called him and he mentioned the word, and the wife understood immediately that he was being held against his will because of the secret code. And so when you are going to do trading, you need secret codes that your family is very, very, very aware of them, and nobody will notice those things. And it's important that you follow certain rules, and all of those things you need to, research them on your own, but you can try Mexicans because they rule. Now, next one will be, when you are talking about hard times, I'm going to tell you several things. Trading has been done throughout human history, and it has a lot of hidden dangers, okay? So number one, you gotta trust your intuition. If you don't want to go, or you don't want to do it, or you feel something is wrong, very likely something's wrong, okay? Especially at this point, I'm going to tell you that for a trading team, you need both male and female. The reason being, women are more in tune with the colors, and women are in tune more with the intuition, and women are more in tune with reading body languages and reading a lot of things for negotiating and all kinds of things that men just don't get. Okay, I'm sorry, but you just won't get it. And the reason being, well, you're a man, and you're different. And so if you are only women, it's also going to be a problem, because you might lack respect and all kinds of things from the other party, and you probably will lack authority or the energy of the male thing for closing deals and setting boundaries and things like this. So you need both sides of the team. And in order for you to do that, you want to understand that the very first thing that people did when they were coming up with this thing was learning about the objective of the trading. Now, several things go through this process. Let's say that you want to send a package. The very first thing that you need for that object is a container. So a lot of people go kind of like, I'm going to trade fuel, and you don't have a proper container for that. Reason being, well, let's say that you're in good times, then the container for gas is very likely going to be red. But if you are in hard times and that thing is red, you won't be able to see the color, and you won't be able to see the gas inside, the diesel inside. Therefore, that won't work. The containers that work in good times, they will not be available, they will not work, and very likely they will actually be broken, damaged, or be too expensive, or all kinds of troubles. I swear to God, even if at this point, the next thing is the containers. The containers for the freaking things that you're going to trade are going to be a hazard. They are insane, because some of them will be, sometimes, the top 10 items that you will be trading are food, water, gas, propane, diesel, canisters, as in propane canisters, and objects that are related to that as a fuel, even matches, and anything relating to fuel. Fuel has lots of topics. Another video for that, to the point in which I have a reproduction list or playlist just on fuel. So fuel is generators, fuel is propane, fuel is cooking, fuel is car, fuel is transportation, not just yours, but for everybody else. And then fuel is basically everything. And water, the same thing. So, topics, and all of them require special containers. All of them. And containers is one of those things that you take for granted. Because right now, you take a container and it breaks, no problem. But during hard times, you finding another container, very big deal. The options, severely limited. And so, when you're going to trade, you gotta figure out a lot of things about what you're going to put this thing into. Okay? Very, very, very important, especially when it comes to fuel. Okay? So, I will write down the top 10 things that I can trade and I want to take in a trading. Because it's not the same you offering than you taking. And so it's a deal. And so you might need to understand this process, because one of you very likely is going to lose a little bit or maybe a lot. However, because of time constrictions and restraints and a lot of other things, then it will be chaotic because of that, okay? So time might not be on your side. And if it is not on your side, but if it is in the other party's side, then they have more power than you in terms of the negotiation. And so it's also important to understand these processes, because when you're negotiating, time and constrictions, restraints in relation to the products are the next C. Constrictions, as in you're restricted. For example, if you have vegetables and they are organic, they will actually spoil faster, especially if they are avocados or something like that, to the point in which there are even memes about it, okay? It's like the avocado is green, 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 no, 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 not yet. And then when you turn around, it gets ripe, and then when you're going to take it, it's rotten. So it's kind of like that, okay? The constrictions of the topic, and sometimes even the limitations in terms of so for example, if it is fuel, then you have a lot of problems when it comes to the fumes of the diesel, because diesel does not get ignite because of the liquid. It actually gets ignite just because of the vapors. So if you have somebody smoking nearby, that thing might actually catch fire because it's from the vapors, not just because of the liquids, okay? So containers, constrictions, and codes. Next one is going to be crime and statistics and others. Now, this will be for the area that you're in. This will be for the colors that you're using. This will be for how you are handling the community relationships with everybody. If everybody knows that you're fair, then some people might want to take advantage of this, but at the same time, you might not be looked at as a pushover. However, if everybody believe in your community that you are somebody that cannot be trusted or whatever, then nobody is going to be willing to trade. And at the same time, a lot of the time, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of the times, you cannot trade if you don't have an intermediary person. Because let's say that you want to trade fuel. Now, several topics. Like I said, full video. This is why I made a video that it was so freaking long, because oh my god. Because it's a whole thing. So let me explain. Number one, fuel will be considered a key component, and then if you're found having more than 10 liters, 20 liters, whatever the government sets, then you will go to jail, because you will be considered that you are trafficking or you are misusing a resource that the government needs, and at the same time everybody else's needs, and then you are basically profiting for the need for these things. So it's going to be a huge problem. And then if you don't know the person that you're talking to, you do not know if it is the government having an undercover thing so that they can, then record you or something. And then they go kind of like, now we are going to send you to jail or stuff like this because you were trafficking with this key object or this key thing. Now, this is legal in every single country that you go to. There are a lot of specifications in every country's law that says that you are not allowed to traffic or touch a lot of items that they consider key. So for example, gold, silver, endangered animals, all kinds of things, antiques, artifacts that are religious or something, even paintings or art will be considered key things. And then if you are found using or trading these things, then you will very likely go to jail. So you don't want to go and do businesses with somebody that you do not know. So you gotta find somebody that knows people, and then they can vouch for the other party, because that way you will have not 100% certainty, but at least you will know that it is safer than just going around finding somebody who is a stranger. And at the same time, if you have a lot of people that have grudges against you and all kinds of things, then you don't want to go and do anything, because these people might set you up on purpose because they have grudges against you. And so at this point, your community is going to be key for trading, because you have a reputation and you have a history, and at the same time, your group have a history, meaning not just you, but your wife. So sometimes if you drop somebody's name, you might actually get bombed by everybody. And this has happened. It is insane, but it has happened. And I have mentioned this before. We were going to trade, and then somebody mentioned another people's name, and then everything went ballistic and nobody wanted to do the deal. The reason being, well, a name that wasn't supposed to be in the picture was suddenly mentioned, and everybody just froze and said, okay, we're leaving, we're dropping. And yeah, we missed the whole thing. And we lost, and it was a very big deal. There is a lot of the times in which, if you have a troublemaker, if somebody who you do not know, you do not mention their name. You mention people's name only when you are certain it will work. If not, then you don't, because otherwise it will be a trouble. And a lot of people will be better negotiating, especially when it comes to bribing and doing things that it doesn't work with your personality, okay? Especially certain strong people or certain type of personality thing. So you seriously need to do a re-evaluation about this thing, and then you gotta understand how bribing works. Now, that one, also a whole new video. Because the bribing topic, oh my god. Honest to God, the bribing topic is, I have another reproduction list on bribing. I have, I think, 3 or 4 videos just on that topic alone. So when it comes to trading, like I said, so many things that you want to take into consideration. So next one will be the concealment of things within your clothing and within other people's clothing, and then the implications for this. So very, very, very important. A lot of people will go to trades and then they will carry a gun. Now, for safety. However, it can also be a threat for the other party. So if you go unarmed and the other party is armed, then you will very likely face a tense situation. If both of you are armed, it's worse. And then if both of you are unarmed, that one, it can be more nervous than the other ones, because when you are not armed, that means that you have a backup that is stronger than everybody else, because it will be the same thing. It can be, I'm a nobody, therefore I don't have anything. But it can also be, I'm so powerful, I don't need to carry a gun. What the hell? I have like 50 bodyguards that can take you down. Like I have snipers behind me. And for all I know, and then, by the way, at this point, God, I have a couple of experiences in that one, because because of the way that I used to dress, not right now, but long time ago, people thought that I was that one, and people, it was like, you know what, you are the complete opposite of a great person. As in, I'm not normal or whatever it is, because and then, somebody was going to try to talk to me about stuff, and then the other guy just, knocked him like that and said, don't mess with her. Don't you see her? She's so out of the thing. She must have like a yeah, don't no. She probably has a husband or whatever it is, that it is so freaking powerful that she dares to walk around like that, you know. And I heard them, and I'm like, inside my head, I swear I was like, I'm single, I don't even have a boyfriend. But then again, you know, I was thinking, my best friend told me, you are so insane and out of this galaxy that I swear, you know, from your side, 4 aliens with iguanas looking things are going to jump behind you to just try to catch you, and then you're going to go like that, and then they're going to just go over you and kill everybody else in the boat, not you. And then I'm looking at her like, and then she said, yeah, you're that weird. And then I'm like, am I that scary? And then they said, yeah. But at the same time, you know, she said, but also what works for you is that you're so honest that people think that you're so dominant and so strong. And I'm like, me? What? And then she said, yeah, they don't know you. I know you are you, and I know you, but nobody else knows you. So it turns out that this whole thing about you having your image in your head about other people is in your head, not in reality. And so you gotta get out of your head if you're going to do trading. And at the same time, you gotta stand your ground, but do it the best way that you can. Some people can't because they just don't have it in them to talk, to ask, to understand other people, okay? I'm not very good with this one either. Quite frankly, I suck. I suck. However, I'm kind of like a straightforward person, and so people trust me. So that is the other option. There are 2 aspects to this thing: people trusting you and you communicating properly. Those 2 things are not the same. You can communicate with somebody very good, but then you're still kind of like, I know what you're saying and I want to do it, but my body won't do it, or like, and then you're like, because you don't trust them. And then if you don't trust them, then you're feeling that you're going against yourself and stuff like this. So 2 aspects for this, and that is why communication is male and female. Female, trust you. I don't care. I don't need a reason. Okay? That one works. Period. I don't need a reason. Women are crazy. They don't need a reason. Men, however, are the opposite. They're like 5 versus 4. No. 4 versus 4. Maybe. But you know, apples and oranges, blah, blah, blah. So you know, the aspect of the logic and the fairness is the male-oriented thing. You know, but a lot of the times, the oriented part won't work, because if you do it too perfect, 4 to 4, you failed to understand that trading is about establishing the relationship with the other party. And if you go 4 equals 4, you didn't establish the trust, and you didn't establish the bridge for new connections and for new trading and even for your reputation. Because if you're always 4 to 4, then nobody will remember you. And if they don't remember you, you're like average. If you're average, no one will trade with you because you don't have that record. It's kind of like when you go into a bank and you want to ask for a credit for a house, but your entire life you have always paid everything in cash, and then you don't have a record. Despite the fact that you are punctual, you're loyal, you're on time, you're this and this and this and that, and everybody can vouch for you, but there is no record. Therefore, you are denied the loan. Trading, it's about that one. So when you're dealing with somebody with the clothing, stop thinking that their image is all there is to it. because it can be the complete opposite. Also, you can make this work for you, because you can go kind of like, I'm going to wear a tie and all of that. And then, your image works for you, despite the fact that you are mediocre or you don't even fit the bill. And yet, the best engineer ever that it is going to find a job or doing the trading, is looking like a hippie. And for all I know, people will think that he's a drug addict, for God's sake, because he doesn't even, shave or anything. Yeah, because he's too busy doing math in his head. Okay? So he's the best for the job, and yet he won't get it because the clothing aspect doesn't match. And so take that into consideration. So very, very, very important. Now, next one is going to be the counterfeit. Don't need to tell you about, I don't have the specific numbers, but if I was to guess, okay, I will say that around 1/5, maybe 1/3 of the products that you are getting are counterfeited. And for all I know, it might be even half of the products that you are getting are counterfeited. Now, in good times, the most counterfeited products, you want to understand what are they in good times, so that you can understand what will happen in hard times. Is going to be the pepper, because you can ground papaya seeds and they will look very similar to black pepper. And so what you're paying as a black pepper is actually papaya seeds. Then there is honey, counterfeited. Then there is, paintings and all kinds of things. Oh my God, the counterfeiting thing is insane. So you want to know how to understand counterfeiting. Mostly with food, in good times. Even right now, there is a lot of videos on TikTok. By the way, this is why my video, like I said, my video was nearly an hour and a half long. Just because I was talking about 20 minutes about the freaking counterfeiting problem. It's insane. Because during hard times, people can just print or overprint the packages. There were people that bought margarine, that butter thing, margarine. It's a vegetable oil, yellow thing that they use for cooking. And when they went home, they opened the package and it was filled with moist toilet paper or other stuff that they didn't even know what the hell it was. And oil, also counterfeited, because people will use the oil, then strain it or filter it or clean it, and then put it into a new package, and it is used oil. This is done even in China, to the point in which even there is a whole issue called the gutter oil in China. So counterfeiting during good times affects nearly almost every single product that you are getting. So try to imagine that in hard times, when getting something is actually nearly, I'm not going to say impossible, but the probability of you getting something original or whatever is probably 1 in 100. Seriously. And counterfeited is insane, to the point in which even gaming industry has that problem because of piracy. The DVDs, the movies, during that time it was that problem. But now during hard times, the trading with the fuel is even worse. Which is why I told you the containers are so important, because that way you can tell that they pour water into your fuel and then you are using it in your car and you are using water and then your engine dies. Because you did not notice that they pour water into the fuel when you were trading. And so counterfeiting is a very, very big deal. And so about this topic, I don't know if I have a lot of videos on this, but I do know that I have mentioned this in the food videos a lot. You want to learn how to properly test these things for food, water, fuel, and metals and others. Because a lot of people will think that there is copper and then there is bronze, not the same. And then there is iron and there is silver, not the same. Or aluminium, not the same. Or then there is white gold versus silver, not the same. And a lot of red stones that are actually Urali, but they are not all rubies. They are different. And so even then, it's going to be an issue. And during your first times that you do trading, understand that the likelihood of you being scammed because of counterfeiting is almost, And by the way, this means that the other party might also be into the deal without knowing that what they have is counterfeited. So for example, if I buy a painting and they tell me it's original and then I am reselling it or I am trading it with you, I am thinking that it is original. But then I give it to you and then you realize that that is a fake. I didn't know that. And now you are after me despite the fact that I did not do anything. Because I was told it was an original and I didn't know. So the counterfeiting part can affect your trading and it can destroy your relationships in the long term. And so you can ask for a certificate of a lot of things, but at the same time, the certificates can also be counterfeited. Or the certificates might be given by an authority that doesn't exist, or it is not there, and it is going to be a problem. Another video, full video, at least 1 hour for this thing, for you to understand even the legal aspect, the aspects of how to prove it, especially like I said with the fuel aspect. Oh my God, it's insane, the fuel aspect, okay? And then there is the next one, which is the counting part. Okay, so you're trading 100 items of this thing, but it is small, and then you are time constrained, and you don't have the time to count. But when you go home, you get 95, or you get 99, and you're thinking, well, I got 99 out of 100. Maybe I lost one on the way, and again, you didn't count, and now the piece might be missing, which it might not be a lot, but it can be. Because if you're paying for 1 kilo, which is 1,000 grams, but when you go home, you are getting 900 grams, that is 10% less than what you paid or what you trade for. And so it's going to do like a shrinkflation thing. And there are a lot of things that require this specific amount, especially when it comes to certain recipes or certain patterns or certain processes, when it comes to chemicals and things like this. And so you not having the right amount can absolutely destroy whatever it is that you're doing. It could, it won't all the time, but it will affect that one. And also, a lot of the times when they are measuring this with a weighting scale, even in Egypt, the weighting scales were tampered with, so that it will say that this thing is a kilo, but it is actually 100 grams or 500 grams. And since people did not know, then it took a special eye to see that the balance and the machine that was used for measuring was tampered with. And so try to imagine this is hard times. Have you ever seen one of those things that do the weighting? As in, this thing is 1 pound, this thing is half a pound, this thing. Yeah, that one, if you don't know them and somebody tells you that this is a pound, you believe them because the machine says so. But if you don't know how it works, the other person, it cannot be 1 pound, but maybe it's 1 kilo. Or vice versa. You're saying that it will be 1 kilo, but they are actually selling you 1 pound. And 1 pound is less than half a kilo, less than half. So you're missing more than 50% of whatever it is that you're buying because they are measuring wrong or because it has the wrong in it. And so the counting and the measuring is going to be tampered with a lot. And a lot of people will not know how to deal with this. Especially because if you have never seen one of those balance machines or equipment or whatever it is that you want to call it, you don't know how it works. And then for all I know, this is, a lot of people have never understand whether it is a pound or a liter, and they don't understand capacities. You don't understand capacities, you don't understand measurements, you don't understand counting, then very likely you will fall victim of this situation. And if you are in the face of somebody who is counting because they have the wrong machine or whatever it is, then you gotta face it, and then you gotta understand how to trade fair with that one, and then it's going to be like a very big deal, especially when you're buying vegetables and liquids. Like, I want 1 liter of milk from your cow or whatever it is, and people do not know. Also, if you have eggs, for example, a lot of eggs are smaller than others. That is why they have grades right now. Good times, but during hard times, eggs are eggs. I don't care if the eggs is this size or that size, or this big, or this small. You get 20. So it is very, very, very important that you understand standards, because the standards will not be there anymore. And so if you want to have standards, then you gotta apply them and you gotta negotiate it with that one. Because a lot of people say, I want 20 of those. Yeah, and then they give you the unit, not the package. The package is supposed to be containing 2, but now it's even half. And now that one is being done a lot right now. Even I have seen a lot of people complaining about this topic on TikTok, even though it is good times. So if it is good times and people are already pissed about it, then try to imagine during hard times, it's going to be even worse. And so this is going to be taken into consideration. The next topic, it's going to be carry it. Because when you're trading, you gotta carry it back. You gotta carry it for the place that you're in to the place that you're going to send it to or trade it in, and then the place that you are going to take it to. So 3 trips. And so it needs an extra package. And then it needs certain way of handling it. Because if you're going to trade fuel, I'm going to tell you right now, the way that you trade fuel. You go into a place like a parking lot, and then you tell the other person, you're not going to, if you're thinking, I'm going to go there and just take the fuel and go, hell no. If you do that, that's not how you trade. Here's how you do it. You take both cars, park, close, and then you tell them, take the fuel out of your car, because that way I know it's working. Because you are not going to put fuel with water into your own car, right? But you could place water in a container, and even if I bring my own container, it's going to be an issue. So, here is what we're going to do. We are going to take a container that has a measuring thing. That one has to be standard. It must be clear, as in the color. And then you're going to take the fuel out of your car, place it in here, and from here, I am going to place it in there. And every single time that I fill up this bottle, it's the equivalent of a liter or a gallon or a half a gallon or something like that. And that way, we have a counting thing. And then I can place it in my car. And despite that, the container must be, by you, but it must be approved by the other party. Because if you're having a container that is not a gallon, but it is a liter, and then you're saying it's a gallon and it is a liter, no. Like I said, it's a counting thing. Or the difference between a quart and a liter, or whatever it is. Okay, there are a lot of things that are different. Especially people will take advantage when it comes to the differences between the English system, which is based upon having men as the standard, versus the metric system, which has units of 100 every dozen, as in tens, 10, hundreds, thousands, as in zeros are the ones who are based upon. And that one is based upon nature. Nature, as in 100 degrees means the boiling point of water. So everybody can measure because everybody knows the boiling point of water. And so understanding all of these details are quite important, because you need to carry it back. And so you're going to have to carry it, and sometimes you will need to place it into a container that you can handle, not what somebody else handles. And at this point, I'm going to tell you that a lot of people will be trading in plastic bags. And a lot of, especially women, will go kind of looking at you like, honest to God, what the hell is that? I'm not a beggar. I need a proper proper bag or something. And then the containers that you're carrying it might break. Because, for example, if you're carrying a lot of weight and the backpack might actually break. And at the same time, if the backpack is something that somebody can go behind you and then use a knife to cut it a little bit, and then they can take everything that you have in your backpack and without you noticing, which will happen, then that's also a problem, because you are carrying things, but they're not getting there. Reason being, well, you didn't understand the process of carrying that. You gotta carry it safe. And in order for you to understand all of these things, you gotta find the proper containers, the proper carrying things, the carrying devices, and all of those things. Sometimes you want them to be neutral colors like black, brown, and others. But other times you want them to be, bright red and stuff like that, especially if it is dark. Because if it is night and all of those things, if you fall and it is black, where are you going to find it? And stuff like that, depending upon the size, and depending upon the what you are carrying. To the point in which I have 3 videos explaining to you the carrying process. Because carrying process also means you going to a center and delivering the package to somebody else. You go into a store like FedEx or UPS or whatever it is, the postal mail, the post office, and they will say that they have measurement standards, boxes, sizes, oversize, overweight, and all kinds of things that are related to that. You may need to pay more or less. And then if you're paying less than you're supposed to be, paying, then it's also going to be a problem. Because you're paying for 1 kilo, even though that what you're sending is this pencil that doesn't even weigh 10, not even 20 grams. But you're paying for 1 kilo. So there are standards There are standards for sending things. There are standards for carrying things. Even if you go to an airplane, there will be a carry-on standard. You cannot carry a backpack that is your size in the plane. You need to put it into the actual luggage, and then the one that you can carry is the one that you will be carry on. And so there are things that you can carry with you, and there are things that you cannot carry with you. And there are standard procedures for all of that. And if you have never done these things before, you might be in trouble because you will not know, and then you will have to pay more. And for all I know, you will be scammed. Because somebody might say something like, oh, it's oversized, even though that it is not. And then they will overcharge you. See? Because it has happened. During good times. And not just in Venezuela. Like I said, I'm talking general, okay? And so, a whole topic about this. That's why I told you, I decided to just write it down. And then tell you, hey, I have a lot of videos on this topic. So, if you want to look at that. Then I have here, let's see, the communications. The communication is key. Like I said, communication with the other party. Now, I'm going to tell you right now. Communication for trading, not what you're thinking. Not what you're thinking. You're thinking talking. No. If you're thinking your image, because, you know, how you look is... No, that's not either. Oh, God. So, breathe. Because this is... you know, not even people who are experts in communications. They will tell you that it's about talking, it's about the body language. Hell no, forget it. Just forget it. Reason being, the practical side, the foundation part is not being taken care of in communication processes. Meaning, it is either male-oriented or too female-oriented. It doesn't work. Nope. That's not how it works. Let me tell you. Finally, I found a book, one that explained this whole process way better than anything else. So, by the way, I had to read that one because I suck at this one. Let me ask, what is the universal communication thing? Okay, sorry about that, I got interrupted. So, communication, the universal one. Meaning, you are an alien. You're in another galaxy. You are in this space. You are in an alien planet. You are wherever. Okay. So you go there, and this place is dark, and this place have beings that do not have eyes and they cannot see. So you're thinking, people can see? No. There are actually even blind people. There are even animals that are blind. So, universal, not what you're seeing. And then I'm going to ask, breathe, and think for about a second or two. What is the universal language? It's extremely important, okay? Ready? It's actually touch. So, touch. Very big deal. Touch. If you touch anything, you can actually be poisoned. And the communication was done. Because it is universal and it will affect virtually everything. Everything. Because every being has skin, or at least it has some sort of sense of understanding even vibrations and even the things, because of the small trembles that the earth has, or whatever it is. And they do it through touching. So one of the things that people don't get is that during trading, people can drug you by touching you. Like, that's it. You're drugged. And 10 minutes later, you might be drugged. And you don't even know what the hell happened to you. And people will go to in certain trading things. And that's why you want to go in with at least 3 people. Or that, so that you can understand if somebody touches you and you're drugged, you might not know. So, universal one, touch. The second one, primal. Primal. The primal is the one that the one that makes you shiver down the spine. The one that says, hell no. And that one is so rooted into most beings that it's nearly impossible to find beings that do not use this one. And it is a smell. So, some people, there are studies, because by the way, smell is the least studied sense of all of our bodies. But it is the single most essential one besides touch. You can be blind, but you will still have touch, to the point in which there is a braille system and all of that. And then you can be blind, you can be deaf, and mute. You can be deaf, mute, all of it. And you can still tell someone's coming. Because, yeah. So, even if somebody was behind me, I will be able to tell, because I smell, oh, someone's coming. Oh, and then I know it's my dad or whoever. To the point in which you smell something and then you go, oh, time to eat. And then all of your hormones and everything within you will activate because of that. And there are people that have a sense of a smell that, in their prime, they used to say that fear was something that you could smell. Betrayal and killer intent is something that a lot of people say that they can smell in others. And there are a lot of literature when you're reading stories and stuff like this from ancient times and others. They say the smell is key, to the point in which animals know when it is time for mating and all of that, because of a smell. Because the smell is the one that will chemically activate all of your hormones. If you lack the sense of a smell because of a disease or because of an operation or because of whatever, you are missing out a lot. And you will have to find a way to deal with your primal communication. Because your primal communication, like I said, is primal. And if it is primal, it's the one that will keep you safe. And it's the one that will keep you from messing up. So a lot of, I'm going to tell you right now that if you're a woman and you go with a guy and you don't know what is it about him, he's cute, he's smart, he's everything. And yet you want to get near him, but you can't. It might be because of his smell. However, if he starts practicing exercises and all kinds of things, then 1 week later, you all of a sudden fall for him like insane and you don't even know what the hell. Well, the reason being, now he is actually activating his hormones that you can smell. As a woman, you can smell them. And so, vice versa, it also works. It's also one of the reasons why women are better at setting traps and others when it comes to hunting and when it comes to getting animals and all of these things, rather than using guns or shooting or other stuff that men do. Reason being, well, duh, you have a period. That means that animals can smell you before you even bother saying, I'm going out. Yeah, everybody in the forest already knows that you're out. Right? Well, everybody can smell your blood, despite the fact that you have a tampon on or whatever it is. So, big problem. So if you're going to trade, or if you're going to go hunting, or if you're going to do a lot of stuff, then you want to learn how to mask your scent, how to deal with your smell, and how to deal with all of those things, because basically, even if you have the right intention and even if you are right with everything, if your hormones are going against you as a man, because all women can smell it in you, then you will not find a partner, and you will very likely also not find the right trading thing, and everybody will think you are weird or whatever, despite the fact that you are doing everything right, because the primal aspect, you are not taking it into consideration. So at this point, if you're going hunting a lot of things, you want to understand the difference between soaps, gels, and the unscented versus scented, versus you and your hormonal cycle. If you are a woman, you need to understand your hormonal cycle, because if you're trading and you are in certain times of your period, yeah, men are going to be looking at you and they might want to, take advantage of you or whatever, and it's going to be, the communication might go easier, but at the same time, it will not work later on when you don't have the high in your hormones. And so, it's extremely important that you understand this one. Women have cycles in terms of everything. Women are cyclical, men are not. Therefore, whatever it is that you're doing, try to understand your primal cycle and your and all of those things, because it is going to affect everything. If you don't understand this one and you're trying to all the time be the same, you are not. You're going against you. And that's why, men go kind of like, yeah, she's in her period or whatever, just screw it up. Yeah, because men don't have that problem. Men don't have that problem. Men just go up and then go down. That's it. They don't fluctuate. They are either black or white. You, on the other hand, are all the scales of gray. All of them. And on top of that, you have a couple of days in which you are extreme black and a couple of days in which you are extreme white. And so, serious. It will affect your communication, it will affect your training things, it will affect everything, and it will affect everyone within your group. And if it affects everyone within your group, it also means that you need to take advantage of this to favor your group and to favor yourself. And in order for you to understand this one, you also need to understand that the other party also will have females within the group, or also will have, it can be mixed, or it can be only men, or it can be only women, or whatever it is. And it will affect this whole thing. And so I don't know, how are you going to tap into these things, because I haven't done a video about this topic, by the way. Because I am not an expert. I am just going to tell you right now. And in fact, my sense of smell is not going to be my best sense. My best sense is actually the sixth sense for the energy reading, which I am quite good at it. But the other ones, not so good. However, I have friends that are the complete opposite. So try to focus on what is your best sense of communication. Because no matter how good you are, if your hormones are going against you, it won't work. And no matter if your hormones are the best and everything is good, and yet you failed to understand the next step of communication, which is your, how to put it, your body language, your neuro-linguistic programming, that one doesn't work, then you have a problem. Because it's like you're saying, I am going to pull up by going down. I am going to the east by following the sun down. Yeah, kind of like that. Anyway, now I gotta go. I hope that this was cool. See you again soon.